or if you can just leave the normal names. Okay? Next. Now, entity test views are the updatable views. On this step, you can select to create a view object for MC view and another one called depth view. Okay, back, sorry. Now for the package, change the package name to views. Okay, next. Now, it will ask you if you want to create a query-based view objects. It's the read-only view objects. It's based on database tables directly. So you can just click query here and select the tables that you want to as read-only. You can select, for example, the jobs. To create a list of values from the jobs, I will select the jobs and store it in the views package. So this is the jobs view. And the last step, it will ask you to create an application module. So in the application module, I can also put it in a separate package, like services, for example. And the application module, I can call it modular application module, for example. Done? If you want, you can show a diagram showing, for example, your entity objects. So I can, for example, view objects. Okay, finish. So this diagram will show me the generated objects and how they are related to each other. You can see here that I have the employees view and the departments view and the relationships between them.
It is automatically created.
Yeah, it's automatically created. And I have also the diagram shows me that the MC view is based on an entity object and the department's view is based on a department entity object. Also, I have the jobs view, it's not related to the others, and it's based on database because it doesn't have an entity object. Okay? Now if you go to our project and see how things are done, you'll see that I have the following structure. So I have my entities, I have my application module, and I have my views. So each type is in a separate package. This way, if you want to go to entity objects, you can just expand the entity objects package and go to the object that you want. Okay. Now this wizard will take all of my view objects and put them in the application module. So if I go to the application module, double click on it, and go to the data model, you will see that all of my objects are now part of the data model of the application module. Let's say that I don't want them all. I want only the departments. I want the department's view and the employees detail, and also the employees as a master. I can rename them. So let's say that this is all employees. Okay, and this one is, let's say, all the departments. And this one is of that. Just some easy names and meaningful names. Okay? Now if I run the application module, right click and click run, this will allow me to test my application module. I can see now that I have the all departments, okay, the all employees, and the EMS of the department. This link between the two views will let me test the master detail relationship. So if I click all departments, I will see the departments and I can navigate through the departments, create a new department, do whatever. If I want to see the master detail relationship, I'll click on this link, and I will see the master detail relationship. Yeah, it's working and it's giving the data. Okay? If I want to see all employees, I can click on this one and navigate through the employees and see and create, delete, do whatever. Okay? So whatever you add to your application module, to the data model of your application module, you will see it here. So if I go and remove this, and then test again. Okay, now I have only the departments and their employees. If I want to add the details once more, I will go to this. You can see that under the departments I have an employees view via a foreign via view link. So I can just click like this, and that's it. And then dominate values of it. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, now let's add a validation rule. Where do we add the validation rules? Into the objects. Okay, so I go to the entities, select the employees entity. Okay? I can see here that I have attributes, and for each attribute I can add a validation rule. Okay, so for example, for the salary, I have selected the salary. You see that I have a precision validation rule automatically generated. This is coming from the database. Depending on the size of the field, it will be automatically generated. It's database constraints. See the type? It's a database constraint. Okay, let's add the compare validation rule. I want the salary to be greater than 1,000. Okay, if this fails, please return
message.
Please enter a good salary.
Good salary.
Greater than 1,000.
Better than.
Okay, this is the nice one. Okay, so now this is my validation rule, and this validation rule is added to resource bundle to be translated later into many languages. So you can see here that I have a key showing me which error message is this coming from. It's from the entity called employee entity object, and the rule is called salary rule 01. This is the error message. I can copy this and create a new file called model bundle _ AR, for example, and then translate this error message into Arabic, for example. Okay? So let's test the error message. Right click run. This is what we call the test console, which is used to test the business components. So now, if I go to all employees and change the salary to 260, it will tell me, please enter a good salary. Okay? So this is it. Okay, I've changed it to a correct value. Now it's working. Good? Okay, so this is a sample error message, or sorry, a sample validation rule. You're going to create, during the lab, you're going to create more than one validation rule.
Now,
One
custom
validation.
validations, if you want to put there. Custom validations.
Custom validations, you go and then click add, you go to the validation rules and click add, and then from here you select method. Okay? This method will be called validate salary, and it will be generated. Okay, let me add another message. Okay, let's remove the, please enter correct salary, for example. Okay. Yes. Now this Java class will be there for me, and it has the validation rule, validate salary. By default, it returns true, which means that the validation is correct. But if it returns false, it will return the error message will be shown to the user. So here you can just add if salary, for example, salary dot int value is greater than is less than 1,000. Return false. Is return true. Okay. So this is the error message. Now let me delete the other one. Okay. Okay. Now I have only my method validation rule. I go and click on. Now if I change the salary, yeah, please enter correct salary. This is my new error message. Okay. Done. So it's very easy. Now within the error message, within the method, you can do whatever you want. You can compare the value to another value. You can send it to a function. You can do whatever. Okay. So it's easy to manipulate the values once you reach Java. From Java you have flexibility to okay. Especially if you have database function, within each entity you have access to the database transaction, and from that database transaction you can create a statement to execute your function.
4 different validations, and we are checking for 4 different things. One is a negative amount, or one is salary, but it should be 4 different methods. Okay, because each method is written in true or false, and a unique message.
Okay, no, it's in the same
inside the same method.
You can do whatever, everything.
In the same method, if I put all this one, but
Any
if
four
you are returning only one message.
Suppose you are checking 4 validations. Any validations fails, you return false.
Like
Message will be common.
No, not common.
not common. It can be
Message will
if
common.
no, not common.
The message will be common in this case.
But it can be parameterized, you know, the
Yes,
error
yes.
message can be parameterized. So
Percentage.
you can get it from the code.
Parameterized we can
That's
see.
the idea.
So there you can write a method that returns the error message also.
But that is not a good idea. If you want to modelize it in the future, like you have to have bilingual application or something, it will be difficult. We will not encourage that practice here, because
Yes.
if you hard code that message and
Yes.
tomorrow you want to make it Arabic,
Yeah, it's
Message button will be
that's
preferable.
also- Yeah, so it's better to do what to do to create error messages. Use the built-in error messages
And these methods are available across all the pages.
across all
from
everything.
anywhere you do. Any
Just
page,
call this
any
method.
page, because all your
It's coming from the entity already now.
Everywhere it is available.
The entity already. So wherever you drop, they will drop that entity of any pages. It's coming everywhere.
Methods are available to all.
Of course.
Yes,
Right understood.
if you build like 100
Broad level.
Wherever this table or this material,
All applications. That I can correct.
it will be fired from whenever you
Really
access
good.
the database table. So you want to insert the data table. So it will be fired all the time. Okay? So
We all are busy.
Only PC.
Okay, now this is a scenario. where I have two method validation rules, and each one is saying something else. So this one, let's say that the salary
No, if the entity is already
is less than
in the entity
1,000.
they already exist in record of 600.
That is not.
What is allowed validation?
Validation will fire only when you are trying to save it.
Existing
From where it came the first place.
only for
The validation is done only when you are saved. So it is existing. From where it came, you know, how it came the first place, the question. I mean, it will the application is not. So while querying, you don't validate. You validate only while saving and setting it up.
updated table.
You need email.
This is in the application module, no? Not in the entity module.
Okay.
The entity also.
The first one is firing. The first one is firing.
The first one, yeah.
So you can move it up maybe.
So the first one is the selected, and let me see. Yes.
It will fire in the order, right, Mr. Alam?
Huh?
It will fire in the order, so maybe you can take
Well,
it
yes,
first.
I will try to change the condition. Let's say if it's less than 5,000. Okay, and see if it will work or not. Because the first validation rule is not, it's 5,000, it's 1,000. So if, let's say that it's 2,600. Yeah, so the second rule will be fair. So the first rule, even if you have multiple, they will be done by sequence. Okay, so if you create more than one validation rule, and if the first validation rule is gets fired, it will stop the execution, and it will tell you that the value is incorrect. Once you fix it, we'll go to the other validation rule, and if it's okay, then it will pass. If it's not, then it will show you the error. Like here, I have created the error message, which compares to 5,000. So here the error message, the salary is less than 5,000. So okay. So if the salary is less than 1,000, it will show me an error message saying that the salary is less than 1,000. But if it's more than 1,000, it will skip the first error message, because the error message, the first error or the first validation rule is comparing to 1,000. If I'm more than 1,000, then the validation is correct. I will move to the other one. The other one will tell me that, okay, your value is not 5,000, it's 2,600. So if it's 2,600, then it is not correct. Also for the precision, if you fill in, this one has 8, I think. Let's try to fill it with some value. Okay, so if it is like this, okay, so it will tell me that attributes it with value for salary in Mulla, it has an invalid precision. Okay, you can define some nicer error message. Please double check the salary, for example, or double check the value. Okay, so this will give some nicer error message. So the validation rule is executed sequentially. Okay. Yes. So this is for the validation. Now let's add a calculated field for you. You want a calculated field. You asked me about calculated fields. These calculated fields are called transient fields. They are not database based, they are transient, okay, application based. So here I will add total or yearly salary, for example. Okay. And so if I type and say that it's integer for example. Okay, and for the yearly salary, it's big decimal actually.
Seems that I have deleted the entity objectives to use accidentally.
Ganesh, monitor monitor आगे आओ he never did नहीं जाएगा एक वीडियो देखा चाइनीज है कंप्यूटर का बड़ा फास्ट है उसका मॉनिटर यूज हो जाता है ऑमलेट अंडन का उसमें थोड़ा यूज करता है वो उसमें डालता है ऑमलेट बन जाता है प्रॉपर रखो तो गर्म भी रहेगा
1 week you have to complete on.
जिन्हीं में हम बिल्कुल असाइन हो गए
Proposal will have 10 of extra person.
Okay guys, so we've seen the validation rule. Now we will see the let's say the list of values. We'll test the list of values. Okay, but let me check this works or not. Okay. So for list of values, we can go to the view object. Okay, in this case. Okay.
That calculated column is over.
No, I've deleted the view object, but I will go back to it. Okay, let's do the calculated view. So okay.
So there are some questions here that need.
Okay, so let's go to the calculated here. I will add a new transient attribute called my total salary
Yearly salary.
or yearly salary. Okay, and this yearly salary is big decimal, for example, or what is the time? Okay, it's similar to the salary only. Okay, now you can see here that by default this one is called persistent. I don't want it to be persistent. Persistent means that it's coming from a database column. So I will click transient. Okay, transient means that it's not from the database. It's in memory.
You mean it's from the same row?
Transient means it's not coming from database.
It's calculated somehow.
It's calculated.
It's from the same row.
It's for that record for each variable. Okay, but it will be calculated differently based on the calculations. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, so if it, to calculate the value, there is an expression fluid here. I can say that salary by 12. That's it.
It's read from the record. It's
This
just
is
data
each
from that
or-
record.
Now, when I say salary, it will take the salary of each record
Each record.
and multiply it by 12
Okay.
and show it next to that record. So the calculation will be record based. So
And if I want to read from another table, then I presume I have to
you
use
have to do
SQL.
it in this
I'll
expression.
have to do in SQL, correct?
Can,
No,
you
I-
Not
have the
expression.
option. Yeah, you have the option. You have the option to. You have more than one option.
Oh.
You can specify static value
Yeah.
as a literal.
Yeah.
So you can say that 10,000. It will be 10,000 always.
Okay.
You can say that it's an expression, like I did, salary times 12. or you can see you can say that I want it to be SQL based and do the SQL for it. Okay, so
I can actually put a select here.
You can call a table here.
Yes.
Okay.
And it shows me, click on that
Yeah, it's
icon.
SQL.
They can build a
You
SQL.
can write something here. Okay, but for expression, it's always better to write it using expressions. So in expressions, you have access to the feeds within this.
You can show for SQL what you can have. But in case of SQL,
For SQL, for
they are more
example.
interested in finding SQL because currently we write like that. In the
No,
post
SQL, it will disable everything, and
where we write the SQL.
you write the SQL too.
You can select something from dual, at least for testing.
No,
Select 100
From dual.
from the
100.
So let us see, let me read to the DB. Dual.
Just like that.
Yeah. Well, our people
Dual,
found
you
because they are used to
can
writing all this
Later,
code in
dual,
post
you can
query.
do
See?
What will this result?
I'm sure written, I would have done.
नहीं
So
select
so
from dual
now
वो
we
क्या
have
return
added
करेगा
the
number
we have added this to the entity. Now we need to move it also to the view object.
select 100 from dual तो 100 करेगा
As well, in order to see this attribute, I have then to add it from it. I will see that I have now a new attribute called yearly salary. I will just add it.
First you have to add it in entity, then you have to.
When you add it to the entity, it will make it more reusable.
Mhm.
So you can
We can add it to view object also.
and then you can map it to whatever view objects you have later. Okay, now let's test it. Let's test Okay, yeah.
So it is coming from the DB.
Now it's coming
I can definitely need it.
Now we need to have a
Which is a not compatible entity.
You should not do this, email.
Any.
okay. So you have the option to use it as whatever you want.
What you are asking.
Mm.
Just like indicator.
Unique table.
Now, okay, guys. Now there is another thing that we need to be aware of. Okay. So when you calculate the value, you need, the calculated value needs to be updated whenever you move from one record to another. Or sometimes when you change the salary, the total salary will change also, right? Because it's inside the form, it's in the same formula. So in this case, you can add a dependency. So here, dependency for this attribute on the salary. This means that whenever the salary changes, the total value will be recalculated. Okay? If we go to the user interface later on, and when we build the user interface later on, the salary will be automatically, the total salary will be automatically refreshed whenever you change the salary value. The total salary will be recalculated. How does know that the salary has changed? Does know that from the dependencies. So if you add a dependency, this means that whenever the salary changes, this calculated attribute will be recalculated. Okay. Okay. This is what dependency means. Okay. So now let's go to the list of values. Now for the list of values, I need to go to the IPS view here and go to the attributes. There is the job ID. Okay. For the job ID, I will go to the list of values tab and add a new list of values. Okay. Now for the job ID, where the list
Jobs.
where the list is coming from? It's from the jobs view. So I need to go and say that okay, the list is coming from the jobs view. Move it to here. Moving the jobs view here means that I have access to that view. It will create something called view accessor. Okay, this means that I have access to the jobs view from the employees.
Creating a list here helps us in the GUI there.
It will automatically create it to the
Automatically display.
Okay. Now we are standing at the jobs ID. We need to do the mapping between the jobs ID to the jobs view. So to what attribute is it connected? It's connected to the job ID. Now the mapping is done. Now for the UI hints, you might want to show the job title rather than showing the ID. So in this case, I will select the job title. And you can choose the list type or the list view type. So, okay.
We can show multiple also, job title and some.
Yes, you can select more than one attribute and will be presented to the user. So you can test everything without building the real user interface. So here you can see that I have the list of value over there. Now, if you want a list of value similar to what we have in Oracle Forms, we can just go to the list of value, change the UI hence to import text with the list of values, move everything, and click OK. Okay, come again. Okay. See, you can now search for whatever you want to search for. Okay, I want shopping clerk, shipping clerk. Click OK, and now you're done. So the ID here will be changed, but it depends on the selection you have.
In this LOB, we can search for some value. Maybe the LOB.
When you go to the user interface, you will have a search form.
That will come automatically.
Automatically, you will have a search form. If you choose this selection, this list type, it's input text with the list of values, it will give you a search. Here you can search. You can search, for example, I want the maximum salary to be 25,000. If you don't have any. Okay. I'm not sure why it's not working. Yes. But when you reach the user interface, you will have a search form where you can search using one of the fields, for example, and will enter the data for you.
Here for that job title we have attached one LOV, list of value. In forms like we can attach dynamically that at the time this if this condition is true, then this LOV will be attached to that field. If that second condition true, that dynamically we attach that LOV. So same kind of thing we can do here.
No, you mean more than one LOV to the same field?
To single field, yeah.
With
At the
different conditions.
different conditions. At a time there will be only one LOV attached to, but on different conditions.
That we do for reason.
Programmatically we do.
There is a concept of record groups in forms. So we have different attached to the same this thing. But because in forms, see the concept is different. If you are having different things, there will be different pages for that. The data model will be same. So like in forms, you cannot have so many canvases.
No, but in that case here also we need to create two separate fields if we want to give separate LOV to separate item then. Because if we
why separate list of values for the same